everybody, and welcome to Music Real Talk with Marbin. If you like what you're hearing, please subscribe. Episode 35, Music Real Talk.
Are we sure it's 35?
I think it's 35.
You never checked if we got off in one episode?
Maybe we got off. Who cares? Anyways.
Did you see that Tom Segura stole our joke?
I know, coming everywhere?
Yeah.
Coming everywhere, that was like...
That's our joke.
Yeah.
Can we sue him?
It's amazing. Great minds really do think alike. I was just spending some time inviting people to like our Facebook page because you can do that again all of a sudden. I guess a lot of musicians listen to this. So if you have Facebook pages, when you're under 100,000 followers, when anybody when you put a post and people like or love it or react to it, it lets you invite them to like the page. After 100,000, it stops, and I don't know if it's just bugging out, but now it just all of a sudden reopened that feature for us, so we've been inviting people like crazy. And I was just scrolling through, and I saw the video that we just did with the cockatoo and possum, and how popular that shit got, and the amount of strangers like, oh, I get it, I love jazz now. Cockatoo and possum. Yeah, I get it.
I really don't like when you call them cockatoo and possum.
Kitty.
It's racist. It's a cat and a pigeon.
A cat and a pigeon, right. Yeah, I mean, that shit just breaks my brain, man. It's like, how stupid. It's the same shit when we did All of Me with the tiny instruments. The things that are the most successful online, it's just the most basic shit. Just the most basic shit. People love that shit. It's disgusting. I don't know. I hate it.
Yeah, but I also don't want people to feel bad because they liked it. Your dad loved it.
I know. I liked it too. I feel like I hate something in myself for ooh, the pigeon is dancing.
I actually don't like it when it's not. They had the guy playing for the cows. That everybody sent me. When there is someone with saxophone, everybody in the world sends it to me.
Right.
Everybody.
Yeah.
So I get to... So the cow thing. If you can't really play, I don't care. If you can play and there is something cool going on, then it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I
liked being there. I liked having a possum on my head.
Oh no, it was fun. It was great times, but I'm saying I feel like I'm insulting my own intelligence putting out these kind of videos.
It's not that it's insulting your intelligence, it's just why do I have to be a monkey clown for you guys to listen to my music? It's whatever you work on, you did all your years of training and whatever training of thinking about it and creating art that's worthwhile, but the only reason why you can get people to press it is because you have a kitten on your head. And a pigeon dancing, so...
That dancing pigeon was intense, though. It really dug the music. It got it.
Yeah, pigeons are smart animals.
Yeah, very smart. Very talented animals.
They used to deliver messages from one place to another. So...
That's true. Dude, that podcast you hooked me up with being a guest on,
Leander.
Yeah, he has a jazz podcast. I feel like I talked way too much shit for the temperature of his podcast. It felt extreme at times. He also called, I brought up that the only venues that made it through COVID are money laundering operations for the cartel. And he was like, "Are you a conspiracy theorist?" I was like, "Dude, I don't mean it. I'm just talking, But
there are some venues that are definitely money laundering operations. Not as many as there should be, honestly. The cartel is really not looking at what can happen. Because they can have empty shows with $70 a ticket and 800 tickets sold.
You can't prove that that's... Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying it's great. It's all cash.
It's a great business for money laundering, for sure. But yeah, we were talking about... He just tackled me with questions that I wasn't prepared for.
Really? Like what? Maybe he changed his attitude since time that I did a podcast with him last
No,
year in
he asked
October.
me. He was like, no, he told me like, what musicians would you like to play with? And I was like, I don't know, my band. Like, I want to play with Marbin. Like, they know the music I want to play. And he's like, no, like, you can play with anybody. And I was like, oh, like Louis Armstrong. He's like, alive. Louis Armstrong is dead. It's like, I know he's dead. All right. And he's like, I'll go instrument by instrument.
You
He's
should
like,
have been like,
trumpet.
what?
He's dead.
He's dead?
Start sobbing. Yeah. But he's like, instrument by instrument. It's like, trumpet. And I was like, it's like, Winton? You don't want to play with Winton?
He said
I'm like,
Winton?
yeah. And I
For
was
real?
like,
He said Winton?
it's like, I don't
Winton looks...
like him. I don't like that guy. And then he's like, okay, fuck.
We look like you won't get along, honestly.
I know. And he's like, how about piano? And I was like, Oscar Peterson. And he's like, you don't want to play with Herbie? Herbie's alive. I was like, I mean, I'd play with him. Of course I'd play with him, but do I want to? Like, do I dream of it?
I would play with these people to get more known and be exposed to...
for notoriety.
Not for fun, yeah. For
Can you imagine wanting... and then he goes saxophone. I'm like, Dani. And he's like, not Dani. Like, I was like, and then he's like, Wayne
really
Shorter is still alive. And I was like, did
you hear Wayne Shorter
lately? It's
did you hear Wayne Shorter?
He's like 175 years old. Like, and
he plays like he's at least 1,000.
I mean, I'm saying it's like...
I'm pretty sure he's deaf. Just listening to the shit he's playing now. At least tone deaf.
It's just so crazy because it's like he took away the time machine. I'd love to play with like 1972 Wayne Shorter, kind of. Yeah, too. But
I would love to play with Charlie Parker. I would love to play with Breco.
I think
would love
Oscar
to play with
Peterson.
the people that are the best, just to see, like on the same instrument at their prime, just to see
how much better they do if they do better.
Like if I can figure out things, like how many things would work. Like
I feel like if you got to hang out with Oscar Peterson or something, you'd learn a lot.
Yeah,
like
me
playing
too.
with him. For
No, but I'm saying I'm actually more interested in play. I had a dream that I played with Oscar Peterson. I told you about it. But no, I'm saying like even like with Charlie Parker, I feel like it will make me figure out some shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would love to sit, I don't know, with like Jimmy Rosenberg.
I found out a new saxophone player.
Old one.
Yesterday.
Who?
His name is Rudy Weistov.
Good?
Like that. It depends on your definition of good.
You just found out about a guy who plays saxophone?
No. So I downloaded his book for free. He's dead. No, not Rudy.
No, not Rudy.
No, but he, in the beginning of saxophone, very interesting stuff. So he's one of the earliest players of saxophone. And he was, in the beginning of saxophone, we didn't realize if it's supposed to be a jazz instrument or a classical music instrument. So we had all these people playing classical music on saxophone.
Yeah.
And he actually he has the best tonguing I heard on saxophone. So what everybody else is doing, we have different techniques for it. But he's doing it the best. Okay. And he's just doing it. He doesn't do all the stuff that people doing it. He just does it regularly. And he has a book that he explains how to do it. And
just I'm very strong tongue, like no tricks, like double, triple toning. Just
and he explains it. He explains it how to... Like, I got his book, and no triple, no stuff. And I got his book, and I started reading it, and it gives you tons of exercises. So
yeah, dude.
So that's what I'm gonna be into now. Like, really, it's very interesting. It's because a lot of people find tricks to make it work for a little bit, but you know what I mean? When somebody does a trick, you can't do it that much. Because you get exhausted because it's not the way it's supposed to be played. And with him, you can see like the way he does it. I saw videos of him playing in black and white, obviously, of him playing, and he just skips it. It doesn't get it. You can see that it's just, but you can keep it, but it's not exhausting. So
Crazy Tongue Rudy.
yeah, so I'm gonna
His
do that.
crooked for a
And
week.
then I heard him do this laughter that people do on saxophone, like I do it too, like. But he did it a little bit different, so I'm gonna figure out how he does it. That's not gonna be hard, but the tonguing thing, I'm gonna do some etudes. I'm gonna be a precious boy for a little bit.
Etudes, are you gonna play a frittata?
Oh, I'm gonna all the frittatas. So
it's nice to find something like that, like some guy that does one thing that you really want to learn and is like super, like it's obvious what you need to work on for a week.
Yeah, it's a specific thing that I wanted to learn also for a while.
Yeah.
So, because I got the double thing that the Norwegian guy does, but this one is more interesting to me because it's just the sound is different. So, and you can do it a little bit faster. So, it's not even a bit faster, it's just the sound is different.
Yeah, that makes a big difference. Yeah. Anyway, how happy are you with the Gypsy Jazz album?
I'm very happy. I'm worried that I'm going to listen to it too much and hate it because I already like, why did I play this? Why did I play that? But I'm really happy with it. I think it's really good. It's a great jazz album.
It's really, really came out nice. Now, I gotta segue into the word gypsy. First of all, I want to say that I feel like it's costing us views on Facebook.
Can I
yes.
start talking about it before? Okay, so I decided that nobody can ever use the word Jew ever again.
Why?
Because people say, "Ugh, such a Jew, hey Jew," and they also sometimes go to restaurants apparently in Los Angeles and say, "Are there any Jews here?" And then they beat them up if they say yes.
Nobody knows about that news story, but that happened yesterday.
Yeah, and they shoot them in New Jersey, apparently, and all over the world, and they say, "Ugh, dirty Jews." And also they say, "You Jewed me out of money." So, and I don't care if you're married to a Jew or your dad is a Jew, you have to be religious, you have to be considered Jews.
I gotta say that like the reasoning that a lot of people give is, I once talked to a Jew.
I know,
and
that's what I'm saying.
The Jew told me he doesn't like being called Jew.
You know, I feel like the only reason why somebody would hear it, and obviously people will listen to I think people who listen to the podcast are not the type of people.
I know.
But I'm saying, if somebody would be that type of person that gives a shit about Gypsy and would listen to it, the only reason why we would say something about, oh, I'm not going to listen to Dani about Jew, is because it's not in a blog form. It's like we have to have an idiot write a blog about it.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't care. And we're like, well, but this guy's Romani heritage, and he said it. Fuck him. I don't give a shit. It's so stupid. It's so fucking stupid.
I know. I love it. So, for some context, I posted just a one-liner on Facebook. Who likes Gypsy Jazz? It's like, who likes ice cream? And then they're like, ice cream is racist.
You cannot say the word gypsy.
Ice cream. It's okay to say cream, but ice is offensive to what the fuck are their names?
No, they say, what they really say is, you can say gitan, you can say manouche, you can say tzoni, they just
Chigano.
Say gypsy, Chigano. You just say gypsy in different languages.
That was the craziest shit. That was the craziest shit.
Different languages in the world. You make different sounds with your fucking mouth and it means different things. It's like, those people are so stupid.
Well, I mean, the thing is, you're talking about people like Stokler Rosenberg, an actual gypsy, Sinti, whatever, gypsy. He's not rich. He needs to sell music. He needs to have fans to be into it. You have a band like us, right? We're getting people from the fusion world aware of the style of music he plays. He's getting plays on Spotify. He's making money. Who's doing more for these people? Us or somebody who's banning the name of the style they'll play to, where people feel awkward typing it into Google?
It's not like we're talking about gypsy people. We're talking about Gypsy Jazz, which is a one thing. You have a hyphen in there.
The style.
and
That's the
it's
name.
yeah, you have a hyphen in there, and it just makes it a type. It's like, oh, we're playing jazz rock, and it's like, oh, you're playing with rocks. It's not the same.
It's racist against rocks.
Yeah, it's just no. It's Gypsy Jazz is one thing, and didn't what's his name? Hendrix Machine Gun isn't on Band of Gypsies or something?
Band of Gypsies, that's correct. Also, Black Sabbath has a song called Gypsy. Nat King Cole has a song, The Gypsy. I mean,
What about
Gypsies.
Al Di Meola?
How about Gypsy Kings? They're
Yeah.
Mexican, aren't they?
I don't know what they are. It's like, who gives a shit? It's like those people are such idiots.
Elegant Gypsy, yeah. Yeah, I think they just, I feel like in their meeting, whoever those people are, they just like, grab a dictionary and they're like, all right, what are we taking out today?
Well, no, it's just the second you get to a certain size, people are, hey, can we control you? Can we make you comply to everything? Can we make you say what we say? It's religion. It's like the Bill Burr bit about the church when you go to Sunday school.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you say what we say, and then it's like, I say what you say, and like, you're a good boy. And then it's like 90 years later, it's like, gays are bad. And it's like, why? Everybody's like, but I said what you said, I'm a good boy. So it's the same thing. It's just religious. We tell them, don't let people say gypsy. We have to, to comply. So that's just,
I can't imagine having my day to day, I teach a lot. I practice. I think about music. I make albums. I just can't imagine sitting down and instead of doing work on my career and on myself, just being like, there are words people say. I need to find them on social media and start conversations.
You know what also is crazy.
You get a lot of people angry at them.
Why can Borat say gypsy? Like, you steal my tears, gypsy, right? Because it's been actually, like, I don't care, but let's say it's been racist. More racist than, hey, we're playing Gypsy Jazz.
You should check out a Gypsy Jazz album, yeah. Do you like Gypsy? Do you like Django Reinhardt?
Yeah, so, but why isn't he cancelled? Oh, because he's just parodying. Who is he parodying? A guy, like the people that live in Eastern Europe, in basically still third world countries that shit outside to this day. Oh yeah, he's really showing, because the white people that live, that shit outside in Europe and live on $1 a month are definitely exactly like the people here in America that,
right?
Like most accountants. It's like, dude, this is so stupid. Most people are stupid, they're miserable, their life is stupid. Nobody likes them, nobody wants to hang out with them.
Of course they don't want to hang out with them. Dude, it's like just people who are not funny. It's tough, It's like, can you imagine not fun, never made anybody laugh. Nobody wants to hang out with you. It's tough. It's a tough world. All you have left is just to take away other people's fun. To just like be like, and also like the one guy on that thread, I really felt like he was baiting me. You know what I mean? Like trying to get me to say some outrageous shit.
Which one?
Like the one that was like, I wonder how Marbin feels about that. Like how do you feel? Like I once spoke to a Romani gypsy, and he said the word gypsy jazz is offensive to their people. I was like, first of all, you didn't. You're making that up. You're just going after something and you're pretending like you did. And even if you did, it's like, do I have like you said, do I have the right to just take Jews off the table because I'm Jewish?
Yeah, you do. From now on, say the first Abrahamic religion.
The J word.
Yeah, the J word.
I'm a J word. Dirty J word? Does that work? Yeah. Anyway, it's fucking nuts. It's fucking nuts. It's so bad.
It is nuts. It's those people are complete idiots. And again, miserable idiots. I just can't take it. We're not invited to our party. There is no free speech. You keep doing the shit, you're out. I'm banning you from the page. So,
yeah, we're gonna start banning. We're canceling.
Well, we already did. We banned the one guy, and it's like, dude, he went on every post we made to basically to report it and to post about it. It's like, dude, get a life.
Yeah. Very interesting what's happening with Facebook. I don't know if this is related to that or other things, but our reach, especially for live feeds, went down by a factor of like
No, but you say
20.
you had a better
I had
explanation
a
for that.
theory
I don't
that
think
has,
it's that. I really don't.
but I
Because
see because I thought that, but then yesterday I was looking online because I thought they were limiting pages that infringe on copyright, maybe because we play standards and I sing standards and stuff like that. But then I saw like couch concerts, like COVID couch concert series, and like all this shit on other Facebook pages with like hundreds of people watching yesterday, doing straight up covers.
yeah, but it's not that simple because you've been doing it for so long. So you don't know how many, like when it flagged, how many times it happens. Like it can also just be like with one time it gets flagged and then you're fucked.
Yeah.
And until then it's fine. Because we did get to a ton of people until October 2019. We like, when we did that, we had a lot of people. And I think we had even more people afterwards. So, that's just what I'm thinking. It just the thing that makes the most sense. Because we also talked about it.
Man, one thing I want to talk about, I had since we got back from tour last week, I was teaching a lot. I feel like a lot of my students when I'm on tour, like, for the first week I'm back are like, wow, studying is awesome. And then they remember what it's like. They're like, oh, let's take a break. But the first week is always really slammed. And I was teaching a lot. And something I keep seeing with students, especially the more advanced ones that have some things together, is the belief that you could know more than you can play, and that you can be better than you sound. And it's a very, very dangerous place. And we see it all the time with students and even other players. It's like you spend so long studying other people and being inside some sort of process with,
Well, technically it's possible. Like let's say I
How?
cut off your hand. When
Okay.
you know more than you can play.
Touche. That's just true.
Just
Yeah,
got facted.
I got factored in the face. But let's say you have your limbs. I feel like you know when you're dealing with. I know there are people who want to get better. Who want to get to the next stage in their playing, but are almost victims of option overload and of the YouTube and of being interested in too many things. I mean, I'm not talking about like one student, but I had a few that this was the issue with. But just a few days ago, I was teaching this guy, and he knew a lot about a lot of guitar players. Superficially, but he knew a lot. Like he knew like the picking techniques, the approaches. It's almost somebody that was teaching a lot of guys for a lot of time. So he had to like check out people from that kind of perspective of conveying something from, Greg Howe and Yngwie Malmsteen and Guthrie Govan and Wes Montgomery and George Benson, like taking like bits of them and delivering them to other people, figuring out little things. But man, when you're trying to get good, it's so weird. Like that external influence is so important, but you have to be confronting what you sound like all the time.
I think there's something that people don't get that you have, and I don't teach a lot, but every student they had that issue, and because they come to somebody like you or me, that had a career, and they think that you could play and then you have a career, and it's not like that. So there is a part of it you practice, which should really be in high school, but there's a part of it you have, but you can do it after. Let's assume, and you're practicing, and you're just getting some basic tools. You're learning the scales. You're learning kind of how to play over changes. You're learning some subdivisions. You're learning how to get a decent tone out of an instrument. You're learning some like completely like not abstract but general technique. You know how to move your fingers fast in a rhythm, in scale, like in harmony. Okay. After you've done all that stuff, you still can't play. That's what I explain to students and they don't get it. It's like it's not like you're gonna learn it and you're gonna be great. After you do it, you need to start focusing in on something. So that's why recording albums and writing music is good, because then you really have to start figuring out what it means to be good, what it means to implement all those things. Well, the journey that you're taking, and without it, there is nothing. There is nothing to your music. It's not like you're gonna. I'll teach. It's not like I teach somebody how to play. People think that if they can just know the right notes to press, they're gonna sound good.
Right.
But it's not. It doesn't work like that. It's just that's the beginning point. It's the beginning of the journey. It's not the end of the journey. And the same, most people don't even get to the beginning. That's what people don't understand, because there is this idea about art, but about I think a lot of things about like, there are a lot of mediocre players. It's like no, there are not a lot of mediocre players. There are almost no mediocre players.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of shitty players that can't play in time, that can't play the right notes. Like if you can do that, play with decent tone, play the right notes, and play in time, you're already better than almost any player out there, including people that are half semi-known.
Especially now, like you take rock players into the equation, you're better than a lot of people who have bought mentions, with their playing.
Yeah, so that's what I think. I think that's what those people don't get, and then that's somebody that can think, oh yeah, I know how to do a lot of stuff. Yeah, but you don't know, because you don't know how to make music, because you never had to go through the process of recording a CD or writing songs. That's why, again, I talked about last time, but you have to write songs. That's what I tell students. That's one of the things that makes them live. It's like you have to write. Dude,
it's
songs.
impossible to even get them to write themselves. Like, forget about like writing a full-blown song. If you try to tell them to write an etude for themselves, not that that's helpful, I don't believe in that, but I'm saying just a lot of times I was curious to see if I could get people to just commit to notes and rhythms on paper. And for some people it's such a psychological block to actually make music that they affix their signature to, even if it's just temporarily. It's impossible. They can't do it. They're totally blocked in that way.
Yeah, but you can't be a good player without it.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. You can't even be a mediocre player without it. So that's to me that's the difference. That's really what it means to know when they say I know more than I can play. It's just I never took the step other than the beginning. I got the general tools and I don't know what to do with them.
Well, we've talked about it before. It's that Peter Pan thing of like, believe, like it's almost like everything is potential, right? Like you took a few steps down a lot of roads, like towards like other people's playing. But, when you look at, especially, well, anybody, but guitar players is what I look at. You look at their technique. It's not like Van Halen does the Yngwie thing sometimes. And Wes Montgomery, George Benson, does the Joe Pass thing sometimes. They all play the way they play physically. And that's it. There might be a lot of compartments to that, but everything is really at a certain point just becomes about chasing their sound and the way they play their own lines. And I mean, we see it with bassists all the time, right? We've talked about it, like, the Jocko thing. Our bassist,
I'm wondering if he's listening. Yeah,
the Pipa Queena thing. You know what I mean? It's like there's no thing. It's like
it's
like,
one of my pet peeves, really, to hear that. Because can you imagine if you go, somebody's like, oh, I'm gonna be a great singer. You were practicing singing, so I'm gonna be a great singer. So one song, I'm gonna sing like Johnny Cash, and one song, I'm gonna sing like Barbara Streisand. It's like, wow, what a great singer! I can't wait to see his show. Yeah, do the Louis thing. It's like, this is so.
It's bizarre.
It's when you.
It's a circus. It's Vegas.
Nobody wants to see it. Even if somebody that's great at impressions, you come in to see them do an impression. You don't come in them to hear them sing.
Right, do like best of the 70s, like doing 10 different singers.
Yeah.
it's a circus. I mean, it's turning
Yeah, and
an arch.
it's immediately it gets old. Like you're not gonna see another show of this guy. Hey, I'm gonna do the same 10, the same 10 impressions, but I'm gonna sing different songs this time. It's like, oh, okay, and you
Right.
just do it seriously with a straight face without. Yeah, it's just
This is
it's ridiculous.
stupid.
Yeah, and
It's
especially if
just
you do
stupid.
it
You don't want.
singing your own, and that's even worse because if you do it singing your own songs, because that's basically when you're saying, "Look, I do the Jacko thing on Marbin's music." It's like I wrote my own song, but I'm going to do it this one, and what if Barbara Streisand sang it, and this one, what if Johnny Cash sang it?
Yeah.
It's just it's
It's
insane. It's
well, I mean, I do believe that like your heroes are sort of you never get to embody them, right? It's like you're my Charlie Parker and your Charlie Parker isn't really the same Charlie Parker as a player, right? It's our
yeah,
impression of it. So, and you associate a certain sound and something maybe you can draw from in this sort of external alter ego, right? Like, and again, we talked about it in the masterclass. I think we spontaneously said it pretty well, which is like, to get good at music is like taking a long, long trip by foot, right? Like maybe we said it on the podcast, like go, but it's like, imagine that you're taking a walk to Argentina from Chicago and you can easily get lost, right? So like the way to think about your influences is people who went in directions and got somewhere, right? So it's like the North Star, and you follow it to get to a place. And if you don't have that, you're probably going to get lost. But yeah, when you just try to pretend like you are the North Star, you know what I mean? Like, and really think about your playing, like 5 minutes of Ingve, 2 minutes of whoever, right? It's like 2 minutes of Coltrane into a cannonball lick into. It's just such a I don't childish mentality
but
on music.
I think just the thing I have to just ruminate a little bit more about that thing that I was saying about gathering the tools. That that's one of the main issue I think when people come to study with us, because they come to us to become good, but we don't understand that the only thing we can give them is the basic tools. So if it's like if somebody wants to be a chef, and I can be like, hey, here's the best knife to be a chef, and here's the best pan. But it's like, yeah, but the other guy can also give me a knife and a pan. Like, yeah, but that's all you can get from somebody else. And
Right.
then you have to cook something. At the end, you're gonna have to cook something, and they just want us to make them. It's like basically people are like, I already have the tools. I want to get better, and we're like, no, no, no. I'm gonna make your tools better. Really, really, that's what our lessons are about. Especially
Right.
because we teach adults, and a lot of the people that we teach are, professional musician doesn't mean anything anymore because almost nobody makes their money
Playing
mostly
gigs.
from gigging. Like we're one of the
We're
only
unique
people
in
that,
that way. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And again, we just make some money out of, like you said, teaching, but it's still almost all gigs and shows. So but let's call them professional musicians. Some of them went to school, some of them teach, so they play gigs. So they already play shows. So they're like, they feel like they already have those tools. They don't understand how to be good now with the other tools. And we're like, no, no, let's work on your tools. Your tools are not very good.
Right.
But they're like, no, no, I don't want to work on my tools. I
Oh
already
man,
have enough tools.
I see that all the time, especially because I always talk about rhythm. I always talk about like being aware of the rhythms you play, and I see the reaction on people. It's like, oh, like, but I wanted to talk about something exciting, you know. I wanted to talk about like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, 16th notes, eighth notes, straight eighth notes, like, but to get something hypothetically, you know what I mean? It's like it's the difference between like looking down a road and walking down a road. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, like, but if you're not there, if you don't get there, then none of this matters, right? That's the only thing you can do. You can get there,
Yeah,
right? Like where as far as you can see doesn't that doesn't matter as much.
but to be fair, a lot of great musicians that I like and you like didn't use the same tools, and I think the tools we use are better. That's why we use them. But it's not like you can't be a great player and use completely different tools at what we do.
Yeah, I mean, I was listening. I was listening to Louis Armstrong and Ella Fitzgerald doing "Stars Fell in Alabama," and they're harmonizing. They're like singing together, like on one of the A's, and the kind of counterpoint they're doing, you know, it's so weird, and it sounds like I don't know what's happening, but it really sounds like they can improvise that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like that it's not so arranged, like they just kind of know simple things to do with altering the melodies a tiny bit while keeping the rhythm. And they have such an intimate understanding of that like entire idiom and those songs and the style that they could just do whatever the fuck they want. They just see it in a different way. And I was trying to explain some stuff to a student who can barely figure out what to play over what. You know what I mean? And he was trying to take kind of an organic approach to it, kind of the way that I would imagine Louis Armstrong would. But it's like, dude, you're not Louis Armstrong. Like there's the option, you don't have this option of earing it out, because when you do, right, it's like press play on the way you do it. You're hitting all sorts of terrible sounding notes. You're playing bad rhythms. It doesn't feel good, right? So why not learn what the good options are? You're clearly the kind of person that it would behoove you to check it out from this more analytical perspective.
It's very weird to say that Louis Armstrong had okay, let's say that Louis Armstrong had it out. She probably did a lot of it stuff, but I know it from experience that the more you play a song, the more you can really stretch out the melody and still keep it. And it's Louis Armstrong played every night for 1,000,000 hours a night, and probably played every day. So right. if you play, if your student will just play the same 100 songs or 50 songs again and again and again and again, like for 10 hours, with different people too, every day.
They keep opening up, right?
Yeah, maybe he's gonna figure out some stuff eventually.
Yeah,
but nobody's gonna do it. This is not the world we live in anymore. You don't have the time. Nobody would play with you like that. It's like you have to practice and figure shit out at home, and then come with something that's kind of figured out already.
Yeah, man. It's very, very, very strange right now. Like
we didn't have ACs in Louisiana 100 years ago. We didn't have air conditioner in Louisiana 100 years ago. Do you think Louis Armstrong stayed at home and practiced in 10 million degrees heat and humidity? No, he went outside and played. That's what you do. He didn't see TV. He wasn't on his phone. Like, what do you think he had to do all day? Yeah. And if you want to do that, you should do it. But when you're going to go outside, you're going to find out that you don't have anybody to play with. So, unless you...
Could you imagine a world where, like, playing trumpet and singing standards was the most, like, exciting use of your time? Like... But like not even like exciting, but engaging. Like there was no, I think that it's impossible for people to imagine nowadays not to have these screens just all day. To be like, check, you might have a notification. Somebody in India likes you.
Yeah.
Like a guy from high school you met twice in your adult life commented. And it's like you just gotta run and break whatever your little bit of concentration.
Or even better, did you say any wrong words today?
Right, a guy you don't know called you a racist.
Man, you have to apologize.
Quick apologies to everybody for everything.
For everything. Yeah. Say that you looked into it and talked to people of whatever, and now you know better, and you're gonna take a lot of time to listen and to learn. It's like, what a stupid world.
A blue guy said that the blues are racist. That's so funny.
Depression is real. Depression is a real thing. It's not just a song for you to play. and a phone for you to have your fun on. There's nothing fun about having depression, about having your wife leave you and your dog dying.
Right.
Anybody that really cried by the river knows that you can't just, oh, I'm just gonna go through it so I can play a stupid guitar solo. No. Ugh, people. Anyway, yeah, I think well, the point is pretty clear. So those people, yeah, they want something that's not possible.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I wish I could. A lot of times with lessons, I just wish I could help more. You know, I feel like what would really help is some sort of like Soviet system where I just am
Yeah,
like
if they come live with you, that would actually help them.
not. I mean, I don't think being mean to people. I had a. For me, it was very motivating in college. I had a teacher that was super mean to me, David Tronzo, just so mean to me all
But
the
that's your
time.
character. I wouldn't be able to do it. I was just
Yeah, I thrived under that. For me, that was very good. I didn't like it at the time, but I mean, it really made me.
well, you obviously liked it because you keep coming back and
No, I
um,
mean, I liked having him, and I thought it was the shit, but it always felt bad. You know, he was really ripping into me. And I found that motivating, but I don't think that would work for most people. But what I mean by like a Soviet system is just having real standards, like, you know what I mean? Like maybe,
yeah.
but
That's what I told you they're doing that school that Itai started. A friend of mine started a music school in Israel, music high school, and that's what they do. We basically, we
yeah,
just drill stuff into them. I mean, listen, I believe in it too. I think that if you make people, let's say, our parents, they made them recite poems, right? So people are like, oh, but what you know how to recite a poem like a pigeon? Yeah,
parrot, oh
no,
pigeon, right? Yeah,
I'm talking about the big category.
yeah,
I don't care. For me, they're all birds. All no matter what happens, we're all pigeons. I don't care
birds
about
of
the size of her beak. I don't care about their color. I see no color. All pigeons.
that's
So don't be racist. So, so like what? I'm just gonna recite like a pigeon. I was like, well, at least you know how to recite like a pigeon when you end. Like worst case, what we learn, we don't even know that. It's
right.
like we're gonna teach you how to think. How would somebody that took a course in how to be a teacher that never worked a day in their life at the profession that they're teaching can teach me how to think? It's not like you get like the greatest philosophers in the world to come and teach people how to think. It's just those people that have an undergrad degree in education. It's like
Right.
we're going to teach you how to think. It's like, this is so insane that people think that. It's like at least you can recite like a pigeon at the end of it. So that's what I think about music too. It's like, yeah, maybe I can't make somebody good in school, but at least I can make them know 50 standards and maybe to play the right notes on it. Like they might not be
Yeah, but
good, but at least
the
we're gonna
truth
do
is
that.
that like there are a lot of institutions that try to do that, like that school, and it's not producing those kind of players either. It's
Um,
just
I have to disagree because those players were very good for high school students.
for high school. But I'm saying Israel in general is pretty good at getting people to this level where you could survive the gig. But I'm not. The recipe is different if you're trying to make a Charlie Parker or a
No,
John
if you
Coltrane.
want
It's
to make
all the
somebody
individual.
great, yes. But that's what I'm saying. All you can do. That's my point of this podcast. I think that I stumble on. That all you can do is get people to the beginning line.
Right.
But that's it. So that's a way that you get a lot of people to the beginning line.
Yeah.
But again, for somebody like me, one of the reasons why I stopped going to art school was that I felt like I'm wasting my time. It was like the time that I'm getting extra classes, I'd rather be home practicing.
Yeah, that's how I had that revelation or a similar revelation my first year of Berkeley. I was like, because I had to take like writing skills and eventually conducting and shit like that. I was like, dude, not only is this like an hour of each time, like it's an hour of my day, each class, they're also cramming just busy work that you can't just blow through. It's like it's meant to take time. That's how it's designed, right?
Like, why did you take conducting?
Well, because if not, who is gonna organize the frittatas? in the band. I'm the conductor in Marbin. Well, actually, no. John probably knows. I'm sure that if I actually tried to conduct, John
John
would
will be like,
correct me. That's not how you keep 3/4 time. You need to be higher on the one with the bolts. The baton up to the.
who is the idiot that, hey, sometimes jazz gigs, what if somebody calls you for a conducting gig?
Could you? I mean, it blows my mind that we're sharing the world right now with people who are professional classical musicians. Like in 2021. That like there are literal conductors running around in every city wearing like capes.
Well, we have.
It's so steampunk.
What would 200-year-old people do if they can't fall asleep and die to Mozart? I think that's the reason why
It's crazy that they're out there right now earning a living.
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
They had a big problem in the United States that a lot of old people died alone in their houses and nobody ever saw them. So they decided they have to start getting them to die in public. And the only way that could do it is to attract them to this old, boring music.
Could you imagine how much COVID affected the fucking attendance thing? Like,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Dude, there's like 7 people over 80 left in in the country, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be sad times for Brahms if he were alive. But I mean, it blows my mind that like they're all still getting paid. They haven't played a gig in 2 years.
To play the same songs.
No, to not play. They haven't played a gig.
Oh yeah, for sure. But even when they play gigs, it makes no sense. Dude, you can't get... Funk died. I remember I saw a documentary about it when they played it in Israel. Funk died because they couldn't afford keeping all those bands.
14-piece bands.
14-piece bands. It was like 14-piece, what about 40-piece band? And somehow we can afford to keep that. Money laundering. That's all it is.
I don't think it's money laundering with the orchestras.
I think it's money laundering.
I mean, I would never suspect it, so maybe it's just genius money laundering.
I'm not saying even the cartel. I'm just saying, let's say you're a rich person, you put your wife on the board, and then she gets a seven-figure salary, and then your daughter plays fourth violin.
Yeah, if billionaires didn't have wives, do you think that like non-for-profits would still exist?
So we would have to find some different thing.
Just a tax shelter?
No, like naming something about, like you put something about like the orchestra of Dani the Great, something like that.
Yeah. You see a lot of that actually, like benches.
Are Great Danes named after somebody named Dane?
I don't think so, but if so, he was massive, or just an average sized human.
Yeah, that came up with us dogs.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know.
How did we get all those names, those dogs? I guess like golden retriever. It's like he has a hair of gold and he likes to retrieve things, right? But poodle? What the fuck is poodling?
I don't think everything's kind of like is a verb.
So how did we decide? Is this the name of a dude that came up with a dog?
Yeah, maybe it's like
region of the country, maybe like Dachshund is from Dachshund, England.
I think Dachshund's German.
Dachshund, Germany.
Dachshund.
Dachshund. Yeah, maybe. Oh, that sounds like it has a
Dutch hound.
A meaning. Yeah.
Maybe it's a Dutch hound.
So why is it a Dachshund? It's just like
I don't know, dude. I still can't spell a dachshund. Like every time I try to find out what something about my dog, I have to go through like 3 autocorrects in Google.
You should just start with winner dog.
I literally go DOXON and like just pray that like the Google recognizes my people.
No, you need to do winner dog, and then it will come up as a scientific name. What other dogs do we have?
What's your dog?
German Shepherd. What kind of
She's
mix?
not a German Shepherd.
She's a shepherd mix. We think she's an Anatolian shepherd mix, but she's a shepherd for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So
I love that Larry David joke. It's like, it's nice to love something German.
yeah,
Yeah.
husky. What's husky?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
How
But
great
we
is
should, we
just not to
should go through
Google.
all the dog names. Though.
I know. I think it's interesting. Let's find one more at least.
Okay, a Chihuahua. I think there's a place in Mexico called Chihuahua. They're probably all from there. So, actually, yesterday I took a walk with Soraya, and this car filled with Mexican people drove by with their insane clown accordion waltzes blasting like it's gangster rap, but it's so silly. Like, what the fuck happened there? Like, all the South American countries got these awesome styles of music, like bossa nova here and tango there. Poor Mexicans, man. What the fuck is up with those silly ass waltzes?
And brass bands.
Did they just like, what happened? Like, did the Spaniards just airdrop some accordions? And like the Germans came waltzing and they just like this shit, this is awesome, hombre.
Well, they didn't speak Spanish then.
Yeah. The Aztecas, they were just like kicking like human heads off of
I
pyramids.
was about to
And
say, when
they were
you-
just they're like, fuck this, let's waltz.
when you have blood orgies, where you kill 200,000 people in 3 days, and you do it on a seasonal basis, maybe you need to do some chill music.
It's not chill though. It's psychotic sounding to me. Like a tuba playing the bass in 3. It's just
What
it's
instruments
so
did we even
crazy.
have here before? Because those are all European instruments, right?
I think they would just like make strings out of people's guts and just everything they did was like a human skull turned into a flute. Those
And bang
Aztecs
on
are
stuff.
hardcore.
Yeah, but I don't know. Didn't you learn it in college? Did you have like history of music in college, or did you just learn about white history?
Yeah, musicology in our college was very
Racist.
very racist.
Wait, I hear a baby.
There's a baby.
Alright, I'm back.
Yeah, nice.
So-
I got that out.
So musicology.
Yeah, I don't remember what we learned. I remember they talked a lot about. It was so hard to stay awake at Berkeley through like all my memory from like music history and shit like that I had to take was just not being able to really figure out how to dress myself for like the winter. So it was like freezing and I'd have like long johns and then I'd be like in this like lecture hall and everything was like my balls were sweating and I was like falling asleep, just having too many layers. And like some guy was talking about like Johann Sebastian Bach's like personal life. And just like, dude, like you're killing me. It just felt like it's like being slowly murdered. That's what being in these fucking institutions feel like when they're talking about some boring shit you don't give a shit about. It's a 20-year-old. I mean, you went to some school like it.
I didn't take this class though. I tried to avoid taking anything basically. So I took a minimum amount and I tried to take. Yeah, and I didn't take those classes.
It's torture. It's torture, especially like when you're in your 20s, you're full of like hormones. You want to like just go and shred for people, and they're talking to you about frittatas and like just not even music, like just weird 18th century gossip, like the backstory that like I don't know, like it breaks my brain to think that that's curriculum, to get a degree in music, that you have to learn this boring shit and then one day pass it forward.
The amazing thing is that you can't change it. It's just every school does it, and you can't change it. It's not like you can come up. It's like we can come up with an idea, we can sit on it, and let's say we're more famous than we are now even, and we come up and we think about a curriculum that would make people a little bit better, right? At least have, like we said, at least have a basis and not waste their time and won't cost as much. Nobody would ever authorize it.
Of course. Could you imagine in 200 years if they're like, like let's say we are the next Bach in 200 years, and they're like, story has it that they went to they would do these long night drives and take Adderall and talk shit all night, and then
I was thinking more about there really is a change in style once they both got matching pineapple swinging sets. When we became pineapple bros.
Yeah, the pineapple swimsuits were the beginning of a new chapter.
You can really see that there is a lot of F sharp in their portadas once the pineapple was in the picture.
All right. We should probably end this one, even though it's a little bit short. So check out the new album Fernway at marbinmusic.bandcamp.com. Please stop saying the word Jews forever.
I'm not asking, I'm ordering. I'm commanding you. I'm commanding you to stop saying Jew. But you can't even say it like Jew. I don't care how you say it. You can say it with a long W or with a short W, and it's
certainly don't say a Jewish.
Yeah, and I know because
I'm gonna know. Yeah.
So
exactly.
No, I know.
So Juan has told you. So this is the way it will be. All right. So we'll see you next time. And check out facebook.com/MarbinMusic. Subscribe to the podcast, and bye-bye.
Bye, my Jew.